Morning. Welcome to Walk with Elias. I'm your host, Elias J. Williams. And today I'm going to have some dialogue about the NFL, which I haven't talked about in eons because I am no longer on Who That Confessional. I no longer cover football at all. But obviously, or at least since I'm here, I still have insights and I still have opinions on football things. So, happen to be, I'm out here in beautiful Boston, a wonderful city. Love the vibe that's here, and I got up, take me a jog this morning, a walk, and I go to the gym, and I see. Well, number one, I'd already heard about Carl Nassib being the first or the first active NFL player to be openly gay. And also this morning, just happened to be watching Good Morning Football and Keshawn Johnson, and they mentioned that Tom Brady was snubbed by an NFL team. Talked about it, I guess, over the weekend. It was snubbed by an NFL team. And they pretty much narrowed it down between Tennessee and the Saints. Keshawn Johnson felt like it was the Tennessee Titans, and I feel like it was the Saints. So take a quick walk with me, and we're going to talk about it. All right, Michael Sam. Carl Nassib, first active NFL openly gay player. And yeah, I brought up Michael Sam on purpose because this seems like a recycled narrative. However, with three major differences. Number one, first thing you're going to notice is Carl Nassib isn't on TV during one of the biggest draws in NFL, which is the draft. And there's no Carl Nassib getting a phone call that he's been drafted and then awkwardly kissing his boyfriend as though he was told prior, hey, Dallas is going to be drafting you. This is a great TV moment. Kiss your boyfriend, right? I remember watching that. I was at Twin Peaks. Personally, I have gay friends. I had friends that I defended. And usually you don't have to mention that, but like, I don't care. And most people, I remember being at Twin Peaks, and most people's reaction was not like, ugh. It was more or less like, wow, was that necessary? And it actually wasn't. It really wasn't. It was a TV moment. It was done for TV. It was done to add ratings, and it did not, I don't think, fared well for Michael Sam. But the key point is number one, the delivery was different this time around. Number two, the timing was different, so there's no hoopla around it. It's a general press, kind of no different than someone retiring. So it's a general press move. Um, so the delivery is different. The timing is different. It's not done during the draft. There's not a lot of spotlight on it. And then number three, Carl Nassib is white, which means that it's going to be received a little bit differently in a league that arguably is about 95% black. Um, so I think personally, when it comes to the NFL, public opinion really doesn't matter that much, right? It matters how your teammates perceive you. It's kind of like the army. I have a friend, or not the army, but just military in general. Um, they don't really care if you're gay. It's literally don't ask, don't tell. What becomes a problem is when the attention is called to it, and then people have to deal with that attention, and so sometimes guys can get shunned. I have no doubt in my mind that Michael Sam, even if he wasn't directly shunned by players, he was probably silently shunned by guys in the locker room, because those guys typically, it's just like, some guys I work with. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're Asian. I don't care if you're straight. As long as you do your goddamn job, I don't give a damn. It's actually no different to one of the Bosa brothers openly being a Trump supporter at one time, when all of the hysteria around Trump, and the things he was saying about the NFL, and the kneeling and stuff. And so I remember Richard Sherman, after they drafted not Joey, but the other Bosa. Richard Sherman was like, in so many words, we don't care as long as you come to work, right? As long as you could back what the attention you draw. As long as you can play on the football field, Guys will accept anything about you, right? And so being gay is not something, it's not as monumental in the NFL as it is like as a public perception thing. Like people really don't care. So because of those three differences, I think it'll be different this time around. Obviously, public perception is a lot better nowadays, but I will be interested to see how that team takes him in, how the guys in the locker room respond to that. So the Raiders will be a team to watch this year. Maybe it flies under the radar. But I do think it'll be different, and it's obviously been received publicly different. Now, moving on to Tom Brady. So, as I mentioned earlier, Tom Brady says a team snubbed him. Keshawn Johnson narrowed it down to the Titans and the Saints, and he chose the Titans. I'm going to take the Saints here, and here's why. Michael Jordan was famous for creating slights, right? Not real slights, fake slights that he would use for motivation. What is no there isn't a better slight than your rival, one of your biggest rivals as a quarterback, Drew Brees, right? Because we knew that the Saints and Tom Brady were mutually interested in each other over the summer, right? But the Saints also didn't know whether Drew Brees was going to come back. So imagine, there's a bit of flirting there between Brady and the Saints. And not to mention, if you're Tom Brady, which team are you going to really choose between the Titans and the Saints? The Saints roster was pretty damn stacked. I mean, the Titans, they're in the AFC. It's an easy division, but the Saints roster was stacked. So I would feel like if I'm Tom Brady, I'm probably leaning towards the Saints anyway. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, there's a bit of flirting going on, and then suddenly Drew Brees decides he's gonna come back, and the Saints have to tell Brady, "Hey, Drew is coming back. We're going to stick with our guy." Now, if you do believe that there's a rivalry between Brady and Drew Brees, what bigger motivation do you need than to have your rival come back and that team tell you we're sticking with our guy, and you end up in Tampa? So not only do you end up in Tampa, but the Saints beat you twice during the season. They've got bragging rights, all of that is there, and then you say, okay, cool. How about we whip that ass in the playoffs and then go on to the Super Bowl? And then I can have a bit of fun with this and kind of rub it in your face. So to me, due to the perceived slight, the bigger slight to me wouldn't have been Tannehill getting the contract and then the Titans saying, "Oh, we're going to go with Tannehill." Well, Tannehill's the younger option. He's the younger option. So teams go with the younger player all the time. That's a little bit more logical, and so that wouldn't bother me if I was Tom. Teams looking for a long-term approach. Tannehill is a much longer-term approach than Tom Brady is. However, if I'm Brady, I would have definitely felt slighted, or at least not definitely slighted, but I would have used that a little bit better just because of the rivalry that I actually have with Drew Brees. So to me, the team that snubbed Tom Brady, who he had a little bit of fun with over the weekend, it's not the Tennessee Titans. It's the New Orleans Saints. I love you today. I'll be here tomorrow. Peace.